What's up, guys? This is Nick from Benton Building. Today we're going over the MacB indicator. This is pretty much the start, the launch, version 1. So I'm sure there will be many more changes, but of course I'll release more videos in the future if any do. Let's check out my screen. Here is like my typical trading panel. Okay, we have the Tri-Type SNR, MacB, and Delta Force looking sexy on the screen. But I'm going to get rid of these because we, today, are just looking at the MacB indicator. So, to introduce it, pretty much this indicator is based off two custom, there's a couple custom, but a couple of custom moving averages that adjust the front weight, similar to like how an exponential moving average has more front weight than a moving average. It adjusts the front weight based on a basic classification of supervised learning. So if I go into quick detail on that, essentially what it does is using the power of backtesting, because we have this data available and we know what happened and how it happened, goes back and says, okay, well, this was a downtrend, this was an uptrend, this was a downtrend, this was like consolidation / up. And then with all of that information, it sets the front weight of the exponential moving average using very basic machine learning concepts to more directly reflect future price movement. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. I'll definitely go in depth on another video, but I'm not going to cover that too much. So the oscillation is created using a leader and a lagger. So you have, one, let me see here, where's my brush? You have like one line like this over the 0 line, and this would be your leader, and then you have a lagger which kind of just follows behind, right? Moves a little bit slower. So anyway, the crossing over of these lines is what creates the oscillation. The 0 line is actually a moving average, and then the oscillation is a moving average, and then it's the difference between those two that creates this MacB oscillation. It's also multi-time frame applicable, which I love. I love to add multi-time frame options. You can get two perspectives. You can look at a higher time frame on a lower, get a good reference point. I think it's probably one of the most useful things you can do when, making a new indicator. So let's hop right into it. I mean, that's the basics. Let's go into the plots. We really have 4 things to look at here. We have this front blue and purple wave, this back blue and purple wave, and then the red and orange line. So I call this the alpha and omega. The alpha line is in the foreground, blue and purple right here. Oof, that was horrible. And then the omega is in the back. So these again are a difference between a leader and a lagger that create an oscillation away from 0. Blue means it's coming up. Purple means it's coming down. White means it's both coming up and coming down, because it's a leader and a lagger one more time at the same time. So this is either a point of inconsistency, consolidation, reversal. You can see that typically these white lines come at like a point of reversal, but not all the time. And that's because these whites can come, when we're kind of just not doing anything, like right here. We're trying to do something, but we're not. But otherwise, purple coming down, blue coming up, that's pretty easy to understand. The alpha is right here. If we go into the settings, the alpha is typically a lower time frame. So it's the same formula applied to 2 different time frames. Right here, it's the 0.5. So that's a multiple. What I mean by 0.5 is if I'm on a daily time frame and I have a 0.5 alpha multiple, then we are looking at a 12-hour plot right here. Whoop, boom. Now, you can see the omega is at 2 here, and that's because our omega, the background plot is showing us a 2-day. So this little box up in the top right can kind of help you out, show you what you're seeing. But what this does is it allows you to get two different time framed perspectives, right? You have a lower, more like a trigger, right? An action time frame, which is your lower. And then you have a, larger perspective, which way is the market or whatever asset you're trading going to move. And that would be your omega. So let me delete these drawings right here. And then the alpha and omega differences. These are the orange and red lines right here. So this is, you have the leader, which is pretty much like, really, if you want to think about it very simply, this is the lagger, the 0 line, and this is the leader, right? So think of if this was like, the moving averages are way more complex, but if this was like a 200 moving average, right? All right, like that. And then you had a 13 moving average, it'd go like this. Right? Oop. So the distance between right here, the 200 and the 50, I believe I said, that creates an oscillation. So there's a lot more things in the background that go into this, but essentially, yeah, that's what creates any oscillator. So the red and orange lines are a smaller, like 3-period lagger of the leader, if that makes sense. So it's another moving average of a moving average. And what this does is kind of creates a confirmation zone. So let's say you had, right here, like this sort of oscillation. And then let me change the color over here. What am I going to? Red. And then you had a lagger, right? So the lagger was following the leader. And then like that. Right? So this kind of creates a confirmation zone where we're still going up with our overall trend until the lagger crosses below the leader, right? So you can see like here, we're coming down and then we're kind of rounding off, like we're looking to come back up again. And our lagger, we cross below our lagger. So, that's a reading that we would start going up. So the red and orange is what I'm getting to. I'm kind of running away from what I'm trying to say. The red is the alpha, the difference in between these leader and lagger lines. And the orange is the difference between the leader and the lagger lines of the omega, right? So what's pretty cool about this is even if in the background, we're still going up, right? Our omega is still going up. It's possible that our omega is going up at a lower rate, a lower acceleration, which can signal to us that we'll potentially have a reversal in momentum before we have a reversal because the momentum is slowing. So anyway, I hope I described that well. If not, you're going to have to watch another video of me talking about it. That's pretty much it for the plots. That's all we've got there. We went over the overview, so now we can just do settings. Settings are, I think, very straightforward. You have a base time frame. So if we remember again that the alpha and omega are just a formula with different time frame multiples, so either a 0.5 or 2 in this example. The base time frame is just what that's applied to. So if this is on chart, we're applying it to a daily time frame. If I was to set this to a, let's see, what makes sense? Like a 12-hour. Hold. Hello? Did I break it? Oh, that's funny. Okay, well, I will fix this box because apparently this box broke, but that's cool. That'll be fixed. Darn, I was hoping to show you that. But essentially, if I put a 12-hour on this base time frame, then we're looking at a 6-hour as a 0.5 and a daily as the double. So that's the alpha and omega. You then have the source, which is open, high, low, close, whatever sort of combination you want to do. I mean, I just like the close, man. It's that easy. You don't need all that extra stuff. I see a lot of people using high, low too, but I mean, that's really just a moving average of price. So then if you're doing an oscillation, you're doing like a moving average of a moving average of a price. Just take, I would just say leave it on close, but if you want to get wild with it, no problem. Then you have the machine learning weight. So this is pretty much how much weight you want to give to the machine learning back testing that's adjusting the formula coefficient, essentially. So the more weight you give it, for example, on a scale of 1 to 6, it's going to look a tad faster, right? And that's because it's taking in the old back-tested data of what, would probably, based on previous data, be the best way of measuring. It's using more of that, right? So if I set this to 1, you can see that it's definitely going to be much more slow, and that's because we're not adding anything to the base moving averages. We're kind of just looking at some simple moving averages. For sure, definitely still super useful. Even at 1, I mean, your signals are pretty much going to be later, but they're going to have less noise. I think this indicator, the way it's designed using machine learning, it's really like the best of both worlds. You get less noise, but earlier signals. But, depending on what you're doing trading wise, if you're more of the, make a trade now, ask questions later, or if you like to be very calculated and doesn't matter if you go in a little late, you're getting in the right trade. Depends what kind of trader you are, but there's definitely something for everybody here. Like, for example, if I put this on 6, which would be the fastest moving oscillation we could have, this is probably best. I'm not even going to go into strategies because there's literally so many ways to apply this. I have made winning trades with this indicator in so many different ways, whether I'm taking giant swing trades with, the 1 machine learning weight, and I'm just looking for a divergence or something, like price kind of coming up, killer momentum to the downside. I mean, that's all you need, right? Same again here. Huge price down, huge momentum up. I mean, there's your trade. Look at first time it turns blue. Or white if you want to enter like that. But I mean, huge trade. So right here, I mean, yeah, I did just get in a short trade. I mean, this is just such an easy way to trade. It's because we're doing macro first, so we're trading more. I'm not going to get into this anyway. Let's go more into the settings. I'll have multiple MacB indicator videos going over all the different strategies I've come up with, new applications, how you can contort it, But anyway, let us continue. So of course, again, this is 2 oscillations in alpha and omega. Let me put this back on a daily. Boom. So you have the on and off, say I just want to look at the omega or vice versa. Then you have the multiple, already explained that. And then the symbol. So the reason I have a symbol here, and I wouldn't normally add this to an indicator, the indicator requires so many bars, because it runs machine learning on this, to, accurately get a useful reading, that sometimes, for example, I'll show you exactly what happens. If I go up to a 2-day, well, this is actually a bit stamp, so there's quite a bit of data here, but maybe a 3-day. Oh, wow. Never mind. 4-day, 5-day. Well, what if I bump up the machine learning weight? Let's go like that. Oh, even more. Let's keep going. Frankly, very surprised that this is still going. And I don't know why it looks like Swiss cheese. That's a little better. Oh, because it's on one day. Yeesh. Okay. Yeah, here's what I was trying to say. So if I'm on a weekly chart, there is no plot to chart because we don't have enough data, enough moves to accurately make any, adjustment to our machine learning moving average. So, the data kind of gets a little sticky. There's more than enough on Bitcoin. I'm not ever really looking more than like a 3-day or a 5-day with 0.5 multiplication. But, if you were on a super small alt like Pepe coin, which just kind of came out somewhat recently, you're not really going to have a whole lot of daily data. There's just not enough to work with to make a good informed decision using this technique, which is the MacB technique. But you can always adjust the coefficient, and then, if you really need to, use a crypto cap, total index, total 1, 2, 3. Crypto is kind of cool in that it all moves very similar. Like any coin's movement compared to Bitcoin is the same thing with a little bit of extra sprinkled in variance. So I trade with the crypto cap total using that data instead of a coin somewhat often when I have to. And I really don't think it affects the validity of the trade signals as much as you'd think, which is kind of surprising. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much it. I've covered everything. If you have any questions, hit me in the Discord. Oh, should I do some sort of promo? Oh, why not? Let's do some sort of promo. First 25 first 25 people to use code MacB. That's all it's going to be. Look, guys, it's going to be like this. Capital M A C B. First 25 people to use this code get a free month. Why not? How about that? Test it out. Come see if you like it. I'm positive that you will love this indicator and the other indicators that I have for you. So yeah, go to bentonbuilding.com. Should I do it? Should I put it up here? Why not? Where is the, oh, I'm blind. Go to bentonbuilding.com. Check out the products. I should have more than enough tutorials up there to see all of them. These things make me bank, so if you want to join the fun, come on in. The water's fine. All right, guys. Well, I'll catch you later. I hope everybody has a great day. Use the MacB if you can. See you later.